and we will be going over all of these. I am going to do every single one. Every single one, an upgraded version is on here, so I'm going to talk while I move some around. Please, I understand, I know some of these, you're going to be like, oh, you know, tier 1, Bone Warrior. Bone Warrior is great. Yes, I would agree. Bone Warrior is the best tier 1 in the game, but the Bone Warrior stock version itself is not. The upgrades that you see here are much better than that, so please bear with me and don't get too frustrated when you see me making some crazy moves that you might not agree with, but please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments where you guys would place your favorite and least favorite Legion TD2 heroes, as well as where I placed mine, and let us get started. I think you gotta start with my boy Butcher. I know I'm going to obviously have to do their upgraded versions as well, but Butcher has the best aura in the game. Being able to give lifesteal not only to himself, but 6 other people is fucking massive. It's huge. If you're putting some high tier 6 units around him, high tier 5 units, all that around them to where they're gaining lifesteal, and then you get the upgrade to where you further heal somebody else too. It's massive, and honestly I think Butcher is a decent start too, especially for like lower elo players to be able to do, you know, you have a Butcher solid unit and then being able to instantly push 2 workers to have a 4 worker start all in one go is a very good start to me. I will do my best to go in order. I don't want to do everybody's like non-upgrades that I see. Let me look here. Harpy, base Harpy is trash. Fucking terrible. Okay, everybody knows it. Just, basically if you're going to use her, upgrade her very quickly. Because Sky Queen is actually very good. I don't see her. I will put her on here in a moment once I do. But, yeah, Sky Queen is, super good and very useful. There she is. But base Harpy, I think, is, one of the worst units in the game, and most people will agree with you. Egg I have to put in B. Obviously it's very inconsistent. You're either going to have it broken or have a great big nice Hydra come out of it to where it's going to be super useful. But obviously if your enemies are paying attention, they're going to do their best to break that. At the same time, it does do damage to units attacking it, so it can be saved in that way and not broken, but if it's not broken, I will give the Hydras up into S. I think the unbroken Hydras are very, very good. Not only base them, but when the base unit dies, it spawns 3 smaller Hydras, which are still okay units, you know, for spawn the death units. So Hydra, you know, spawned in from the egg is fucking massive for sure. I think it's a great unit if you can pull it off, but you definitely have to be careful. So since I did put base Bone Warrior there, I'm going to put, Skull Crusher. For an upgraded tier 1, Skull Crusher might be an A. I almost want to put him in S. I honestly think Dark Mage deserves an S. Fire Archer will put in B. I think Fire Archer is okay. It can be useful, but it's the other 2 upgrades for Bone Warrior are so much better. Great tier 1 tank, super clutch, super good. I really, you know what, I'm putting him in S. I think he's honestly that good. And then for a tier 1 upgrade to also give somebody else massive attack speed is very, very good. And obviously magic type as well, that's something that I'll bring up a lot, is magic attack and then arcane defense are the 2 best of both sides. So some of the units definitely get a buff because of that. So if you hear me talking about that, look on the chart or whatever, and you'll see what I mean, that magic attack is the best, arcane defense is the best, and having a tier 1 magic attack is nice with some speed boost as well. Oh, let's see. Okay, we got Honeyflower. I think Honeyflower's okay. I do think Death Blossom is solid as well. I just think they've definitely messed with Honeyflower to where it's definitely not as good. And AoE obviously is very inconsistent in any game because you're either gonna basically kill them all or kill none of them but massively damage all of them. So it's hard to put them super high, but I do think it's very solid, especially if they aren't attacking the unit, and you can definitely get some high amount of damage off, especially with Death Blossom. But because it is AoE, it's kind of hard to put up into S, but I do think base Honeyflower doesn't deserve an S tier. Let's see what else we got. I think Nico. Oh, I think I would put it in A. I almost honestly want to put the kitty cat into S. It's honestly that good to be able to have a good unit in general, but be able to, if you have a little bit of extra money to spend over the most versatile unit I think in the game, being able to spend 30 gold to upgrade it, and once you get it to full stacks of 7, then it will heal itself on kill as well. So I think it's super solid for a tier 2. I think it's so nice to be able to, there's definitely some balance of like where you have a little bit of gold but you don't know what to do with, but you have a Nico, so you can give it a fish and make it useful. I think that's super nice to be able to do. It's very useful to me anyway. Let's see who else we see. I'm trying to, like I said, go in all of the orders. Do we see? Okay, there is a nucleus upgrade that's not on here. This is the most updated version I could find, so it is still missing a little bit, but not a lot. But we'll go with the Atom. I think Atom. I'll give Atom a C, and then I'll give honestly Proton. I'll give it a B, only because it does better the more damage it does and stuff like that. So as long as it's not getting destroyed, it can do great. Then honestly, I would put the nucleus probably in A as well, especially if you're running a group of these things for sure. But I think they're solid. They do better than most people give them credit for, including myself. So we'll put them there. And let me see, probably my favorite unit in the game. I'm honestly going to put Serpent and the decoiler up into S. I think Serpent and decoiler are so very underrated, undervalued, not looked at. These dudes are crazy. Put them all the way up in the front, very front line, and then build your units in the back. Any backline send, lizards, they're gonna automatically send drakes, all of that shit, hermits. These guys are going to eat them the fuck up, especially the decoiler. And this decoiler does massive damage on wave 10 to the boss, or any other obviously big health unit in the back as well. I think they are so very fucking good. Again, you have to place them if you are new. Again, put the serpents all the way at the very front line. They go underground, people pass over them, they come out, they attack from the back. So any backline unit like lizards, hermits, that type of thing, they'll fucking eat them up, make that shit useless. Super good. Definitely it might be my favorite unit in the game. I will 100% stand by serpents and decoilers and butchers forever. So use them for sure. Oh, let's see. Okay, looter is shit, and I've honestly never liked to upgrade to go get Mythium. Super inconsistent, you're losing a fighter, not that it's the greatest fighter out there, but then you're gaining some Mythium, so it can be nice later in the game, or if you want to risk early in the game, then you can, but overall, shit. There's much better tier 1s than the riskiness of that. Okay, both banana bugs. I'll give them A and S. I think having a ranged tier 6 tank too is super nice, and anybody that does damage to them takes damage for doing damage to them, so it's a super good unit. I just think yeah, I mean, we'll go ahead and I'll drop the butcher down here and not be too crazy ahead of time, but yeah, I think it's honestly that good. It's a very strong unit for sure. Buzz I'll give to C, and I'll give Consort to B. Biggest reason Buzz is in C is anytime you kill Buzz or Consort, they poison an enemy, so that can be nice for a tier 1, do a little extra damage after it dies. And same for Consort, when it dies it can obviously poison somebody too and do a little extra damage. So that little bit I think is decent enough to put them higher than some of the base tier 1s and stuff like that. Man, there's a lot of units. We'll go Catapult and upgraded Catapult, one of the newer units. I think I'm gonna give it to B and A. I do think that obviously a lot of these, before I keep going, I probably should have said this much earlier, but obviously any of these units can be S tier or D tier depending on the build, you know, who is sending what, if you're being sent anything, what wave it is, all of that shit. But overall consistency, this is where I would place everybody. I think catapults are a solid choice, but you have to place them correctly. And if you don't, obviously you're going to regret it. I think their damage output potential is massive, but again, it very much depends on where you place them, as well as, you know, is your team holding them at far distance to where they're doing a massive amount of damage. And that can be, especially for newer players, can be a little bit difficult to find that range for them. So just watch out for that. But it is a solid new unit. I have enjoyed it for sure. But the potential or lack thereof of a little bit of risk reward is there, to where I don't feel like it's worth it for sure. Now you're going to be seeing, obviously, you know, is Catapult going to destroy a consort or these guys or a fire archer? Absolutely. But as a tier 1, these are where I would place the, you know, as a tier 1 Atom, Proton, Consort, that's where I would place it. Now if you're wanting me to split up every single tier, it would not look like this, but further tiers, this is where I would place their, you know, put them in the correct tier of their tier, if that makes sense, hopefully. Lord of Death, and I keep seeing Hades. I think Hades definitely S tier unit, 100%. Lord of Death, I'll drop it down just to make it look nice in that regard. But yeah, the amount of damage, the amount of spawns, magic attack as well, arcane defense too. There's just, Hades is so good, and there's certain people that are so good on specific waves, much like on wave 15 with Hades and Lord of Death and Priestess and Azaria on 15, or even Fire Lord. Fire Lord, honestly, I'm gonna make a little bit of a difference there and go B and then S, because Phoenix is really good, but Fire Lord to me is pretty shit. But it, you know, there's definitely some waves like 15 where those guys are, they could damn near do it by themselves because they're that good on that wave. Alright, let's see. Dwarves. Honestly, I just don't even think dwarves are good. Like at all. I don't know what else to say. And unfortunately, due to all of the, I just fucking lost her. Oh, all of the nerfs with time on Priestess and Azaria, I think I'm gonna go B and then A. Azaria 100% used to be an S tier unit. You could still put her in S. I think she could still definitely deserve it, being able to heal herself and do a massive amount of damage and attack speed and everything like that, but it's hard, man. I love Azaria and Priestess, but they have just slowly nerfed her to the ground to where it's hard to put her into S. But you know what, I will, because obviously being able to heal herself and have that much health is very good for any unit for sure. Alright, who else can I see? Like I said, I'm trying to do everybody and their upgrade all at once and not mix around too much. Okay, I see all these guys. Aqua Spirit. I'm gonna go base Aqua Spirit is okay. Rogue Wave is useful for certain people. Fire Elemental I think I'm gonna give to A. Mostly just because Fire Elemental does way more damage. Rogue Wave is definitely only really useful if you have a lot of ability using units out there. You know, you got Bazooka, you got, oh, I don't even know, Priestess, or Disciple, I'm sorry, not Priestess, I'm stupid. Stuff like that, then Rogue Wave could at least be on the same level, but Fire Elemental, there's a reason why he's more expensive. It's because he's fucking better. So they're solid. Bounce around a lot, do a lot of damage, take out the backline units as well from the bouncing, so very solid there. The trees and the Trents, I'm gonna go 1, 1, and 1. So here's why. Base Trent, good, solid, and can, you know, that they have a higher value of I think it's defense or whatever, and then they lose that per wave. Tree of Life can be good, give somebody you know, some health regen that's behind them. It can be good. It's definitely not bad. But bro, Tree of Knowledge, being able to explode and do a massive amount of damage is crazy. It's so fucking powerful. It's so fucking powerful. I cannot tell you how powerful that shit really is. Like, especially even if you can do it to where you're going and it gains mana per hit it does and per hit it takes. So if there's enough time to where it's getting to full mana, it will explode and then keep going, and that mana will restart and keep going. So that thing can, the amount of damage Tree of Knowledge can put out will save you 100%. I think it's definitely one of the best, relatively, it's not so new now, it's been out for a long while, but of the not base Legion units that has come out, it's definitely one of the better ones for sure. Okay. Trying to see everybody. Okay, Pilgrim. I'm putting both of them in B, and here's why. Pilgrim is good. It's a solid unit. It's one of the only units that will heal, and it's good. The problem is its upgrade is fucking terrible. I hate Pilgrim's upgrade. Now, if you build around it, if you start out with a Pilgrim and you know what you want to do, it can be good. But if not, what happens when you upgrade the Pilgrim is whoever your furthest unit is, when you upgrade the Pilgrim, that unit gains a bunch of health. And that's literally it. That's its upgrade. So if for whatever reason, you know, you have Serpents like I was talking about, those guys are going to get all the bonus health from the upgrade or whatever. So it, to me, it's not super useful. And sometimes obviously who you want it to give the health to or boost the health on, it doesn't. You know, they're all in the line and in the same line in different spots, and then it chooses, and it's just dumb. It's not good. Honestly, you are honestly better off going with the non-upgraded version of Pilgrim, if I'm gonna be real with you. But that is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and put Pee-wee and C, I think mostly just because you have the ability to boost them. That's super nice, you know, you have a little bit of extra gold and you need a little bit of, a boost one wave, you can throw some money into boosting them and making them, be a little bit better that wave. So I think that is useful enough to make them a little bit better as a tier 1 and to not be dropped down. Gargoyles and Green Devil. Gargoyle, it's hard because some tier 2s are good. Honestly, I think because Gargoyle is magic and arcane D, he deserves a B. Which, Pee-wee's, you know what, yeah, well, he's a tier 1. Difficult. Alright, either way, Gargoyle is C or B, and either way, Green Devil is A. Green Devil is super solid. Again, magic attack, arcane defense, tier 2 upgrade, and takes reduced damage from ranged units, I believe, I'm pretty sure. So that's huge. He's very, very strong for a tier 2 upgrade for sure. Definitely worth the upgrade, 100%. Then I'm trying to find, and there's so many. Okay, all of these guys are actually together. Crab, Warlock, and Crabmancer. Honestly, for new spawn units, they're not very good. I think they're okay. I think they're solid B units, but they're not really like game changing as far as spawns like Lord of Death and Hades is. Obviously, they're tiers lower than Lord of Death and Hades are as far as like actual value and tiers. Like they're a tier 4. They're like $100 and some dollars when Lord of Death's like 265. So they're bound to be worse in that regard. So I guess if you're still wanting spawn units, they're an okay choice. They're not bad, but they're a little lackluster to me, in my opinion. Mudman is terrible. I will never be on Mudman's side or Golems. You will mark my words for that forever. I think they are so bad, and everybody that is not new is going to be like, oh, get good at fucking hardening. You can't. You just can't. They're bad. Even if you're an expert at hardening, Mudman is fucking shit. Insanely slow attack speed. Honestly, the health is the same as far as like Butcher or Sandbadger or whatever. It's actually worse, I believe. And you get a little benefit of hardening, but then the next wave it's worse. You're good one wave, and that's if you do it right. And then the next wave it's worse, and it's just don't use Mudman or Golem. I mean, I have to respect them a little bit and put them in B and A because they can save you a little bit sometimes, but overall, just fucking choose somebody else. These Sunfangs are pretty shit. I mean, their only boost is if there's a bunch of them attacking the same unit, which most of the time is like, I just don't think they're worth it. Honestly, they're pretty bad. The whirly bird. It's hard for a tier 1 to put him higher, but I will put him into B. I think he can be solid a little bit for sure. Do some good damage for a tier 1 flying backline unit. I think he deserves a B. I know they recently nerfed him because he was doing well, so I could put him in A because of that, but like, but they're pretty cheap. Very cheap to buy and to upgrade, so that's nice. I'll give you that much for sure. Alright, let's see who we can get here now, since we're a little bit better grouped up. Damn, it's like I don't see all these upgrades. Okay, APS and MPS. Honestly, I've always felt like lackluster. They are still a very good aura for sure. Being able to attack speed increase 6 units is great. They're not a bad unit. I just It's hard because the unit itself is worse than the aura it gives everybody else. Let's just put it that way. The aura is way more beneficial than the unit itself will ever be. Which obviously is, I would say, is the case for Butcher, but Butcher I feel like still does more and is more useful than APS and MPS, because obviously they're shooters as well, so they have a little bit of benefit in that regard, but still is not good. Gate guard and Harbinger. I think we'll go B and A. Honestly, Harbinger is not very much better than Gate Guard. It literally just has more health. That's all it really does. But they're solid spawn units that do a good, decent amount of job. There's obviously that Gate Guard strat where you build only Gate Guards and then you're only bad on certain waves. But like, it's definitely it's a strat that does work sometimes for sure. Decent, solid units, you know. Nothing too great, but nothing bad. Nightmare and Doppelganger. I think I'll give Doppelganger an S. So Nightmare, the reason why I don't have Nightmare higher is because while it has insane attack speed and damage, it has so little health that as soon as somebody like starts attacking it, it's basically dead. Doppelganger is still insanely high attack speed and damage, but has a way higher amount of health, so can definitely, it's already much better, but at the same time, if you have some other benefits like, you know, Butcher Aura or APS, MPS Aura, or have a Legion spell on it or whatever, it can be, it's one of the scariest units in the game for sure. It can be if you do it right. Radiant Halo, I'll give to B and A. This is definitely just one of the better boss killers in the game, or even just very high health units, because the more damage it's doing to one, the more time it's attacking one unit, the more damage it's doing. So, you know, like wave 10 boss, you know, you're taking the damage more and more and more, you know, like 10, 12, 14, you know, it's slowly going to start just doing more and more damage the more time it's on. So it's definitely a very good boss killer and high health unit killer, so not bad, but I don't think it deserves a S tier. Let's see, who else can I see? Boar. Oh, Boar is so bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. Everybody will lie to you and tell you Boar is good. It's not. It's you have to build around Boar instantly, otherwise you're fucked. And it's not even really worth building around. The amount of damage it does on impact is not that much, and the amount of damage it does after the fact is not that much. It is tanky, but it's also a tier 6 unit, so it's like, you know, of course it is, but just Boar is shit. You can maybe put it in B and A, but I wouldn't even do that, honestly. It's pretty fucking bad. Oh, who else? We still got, god damn, there's so many motherfucking units. Okay. Trying to see, okay, Antler, go Antler B, and then White Mane into S. White Mane is so good, that's so much fucking damage reduction for, again, aura for up to 6 other units plus yourself, so that's huge. Huge damage reduction. So tanky team there for White Mane, and it's very much worth it for sure. Let's see, Yozora, just for the sake of upgrades, 100% one of the best units in the game. It always has been, always will be. There's a reason why she's the poster girl of Legion. It's because she's that fucking good. Being able to dodge attacks, she has pure damage, which means it's, you know, there's no reduction depending on their defense type. And area effect damage, plus damage herself, like, and then she gets a massive boost to her health, so you're going to be missing forever, and she's so good. Definitely one of the best units in the game, if not the best. You could definitely argue that. Berserker and Fatalizer is basically the same as Radiant Halo. The more you attack the same unit, the more damage you're going to do to that unit. So great boss killer, or high health wave damage booster for sure. But other than that, not the most useful. Still not bad. They're still good and useful on other ways, but that's definitely just where they excel. But also because that's mostly where they excel, I can't really put them into S. I mean, you could maybe put Fatalizer into S, and I wouldn't really argue with you about it, but it's not the best. Angler, terrible in himself, but one of the best. I know it contradicts itself, but he is one of the best units in the game, because if you can get full max mana and stacks, then you go Bounty Hunter, which I think it's a solid okay upgrade for sure. But then if you can get Bounty Hunter full stacked upgrade to Kingpin, Kingpin is one of the best units in the game. So yeah, you go from one of the worst units in the game to one of the best, as long as you have full mana stack. So make sure you're waiting until that mana stack is full. Use Steeds to boost them up. Make sure it's not being attacked first as best you can. And it's so good. So it gains stacks by enemy wave units dying. So you can definitely build it quickly if you you build them early enough. You can get Kingpin pretty fucking early, and Kingpin is fucking insanely good. It does 400 or 500 damage per hit, which I don't know how much you know about Legion, but that's a fucking lot. Okay. Who else do we see? Millennium and Doomsday I'm going to put into A and S. Doomsday is so good. Millennium is good. The amount of damage it can do for a tier 6 ranged unit, and then the splash damage it does when it kills the unit is very useful too. So super solid tier 6 ranged unit for sure. Who else do we have here? Polywog is shit. Devilfish and Seraphin are okay. Tier 1 upgrades, nothing great, but for a tier 1 upgrade it's okay. Sea Dragon, I'm going to put into B and to A. Biggest reason why they're not higher is because when they heal people, unless they have a Butcher Aura, which is another great thing, they actually lose health. So they can keep healing people and go down to no health, but that is obviously their downfall. So the healing is great, but if they get past the people that you're healing, then you have a unit that is, way less health than they could have been if they had full health, So mix them with a Butcher Aura to where they're gaining health as they're losing health from healing people. Then they're S tier for sure. Or if you have a Pilgrim, then they can heal them as well, which is nice. But unless you have either one of those things, I would say they're about here for usefulness and how good they actually are. Windhawk, Violet, I think is same. You could maybe put Violet in S. I think Violet is actually really good. I just think because it's a lower tier unit, Violet obviously falls off pretty hard. But still very, very strong. Very strong area effect, massive amount of damage, decent amount of health, can gain their mana awfully quick to where they're, electrifying a lot, but again, because they're lower tier units, once you do get into those higher waves, then it falls off pretty hard. Sandbadger and Iron Scales. I think I gotta put Iron Scales into S. I just think the arcane defense mixed with how much health they have is so fucking good. Obviously their attack is not the greatest, the attack speed and damage. But if you're talking about you want a tank, Sandbadger is your fucking unit, man. That is arguably the best tank in the game without a doubt. And if it's not the best, it's 100% up there. And anybody that tells you Sandbadger is not a good tank is literally insane. Who else do we got? Golden Buckler. Honestly, though, I think Golden Buckler and Royal Guard are slept on a little bit. I think for a tier 2 tank unit, they're actually pretty fucking good, and I believe I think they're the ones that have the range damage reduction and not the Green Devil. But either way, it's actually a pretty decently solid tier 2 unit and upgrade for sure. You could maybe drop this one down to C, maybe even this one down to B, but honestly I think they're a little bit slept on in my opinion. I think it's a pretty solid minimum upgrade. The Golden Buckler itself maybe not be that great, but the upgrade I think is pretty good. Definitely worth it in my opinion. Wild Shroom and then Canopy. So this is one of those high risk, high reward units for sure. So Wild Shroom and Canopy both start with 50% health, but they gain health over time. So again, if you have in a Butcher Aura, you have healing units or whatever, these things can be fucking insanely good. And even if you don't, they're still good, especially if they don't get targeted early. But the risk is definitely there. I just think Canopy is so good, and Wild Shroom is pretty solid as well. Again, especially if you have healing type units and stuff like that, to where it's worth it. So yeah, we're gonna leave them right there. Oh, let's see. Trying to see everybody. God, we still got so many. Slime and Slime Siren are pretty mid. They're just basically to keep the fight going a little bit. Not bad, but not very good either. The skeletons, just lost them. Not really that great either. Not terrible, but there's much better units out there to do for sure. Eternal Wanderer. I think I'm gonna go A and then Samurai to S. I just think it's honestly so good. Like, they're good in general, then they die, then they revive themselves, then they gain extra attack speed. And 90% of the time when they do that, you know, this unit has died. Especially to me, they're great on a split, because what happens is you split, they die, the wave then goes to the left, and then these guys follow them, have more attack speed, and start really fucking cutting them up. So I think they're pretty useful. I can see maybe dropping even the Eternal Wanderer down to B, maybe, because their base version until they die each wave is pretty mid, and their usefulness definitely comes from after the wave kills them, and then they revive themselves, and then they start swinging way faster. That's where the usefulness comes in. So I can definitely see that. A Disciple and Starcaller I think are fantastic. The amount of damage output you can do, plus this one has a mana aura, so building up to 6 units around it that gain extra mana, so it's basically like the Magician Legion spell, if you know about that, to where up to 6 units around it can gain more mana faster, to where they're able to cast faster, which is massive, and the amount of damage and health that they have is fucking huge. I think Starcaller and Disciple definitely deserve it for sure. Let me see, where are all of these? I think masks are pretty shit, honestly. Some people live and die by them. I can't. Basically, it's only useful if you have Hellraiser. I think Hellraiser honestly might be worth an A spot, but AoE for a tier 1 is just so bad. It just really is that fucking bad. And honestly, the Chain Fist upgrades will go in the same way. They can be very useful. This one's pretty solid for a tier 1 third upgrade option, but it's, I mean, it's not a huge like benefit. Rapid fire cannon, I'm gonna put in B and A. Biggest reason why is because of how they work. So as soon as you place them, they will never move during the wave. So you have to place them correctly. So for new players, place them a little bit further up front because they will never move. And that honestly is why Vulcan is not an S, because in waves where it's wave 8, wave 11, where the wave is a backline shooter wave, these guys are basically useless. Obviously you can't base them off 2 waves, but you know, they only get better the closer they are to the units, but if they get attacked first, then they're shit. So you have to like find that balance, and they're definitely a unit that you have to usually, best case scenario, would build around them early to make them the most useful, get the most out of them and the amount of damage they can do, because again, they don't move. They stay in the exact position that you place them in. So watch where you place them. A ranger is okay. Daphne, I think, is great. Definitely a helpful boss killer, good amount of damage, and you know, making weak points on their target. Daphne's super good choice for sure. Definitely a worth it upgrade, 100%. Elite Archer, and then Trinity Archer I think I might give to S, because that thing can do so much damage. It is AoE, but the amount of damage it pops off with, especially again if you have like an APS around it or something like that, or a Dark Mage boosting them, is fucking crazy. And if you are still here, Tempest and Leviathan, don't ever do it. It is, honestly, it's fucking... It is the worst aura in the game. Okay, do not do Flying Force. It sucks. I promise you it does. It won't save you. The flying units that you have in the game, they're all bad. I mean, almost every single flying unit, unless you're specifically building something for late game to where, you know, it's just Phoenix, or, I mean, like, Canopy's not worth it unless, I believe the Hades, spawns that you get because they're flying, that they get it if Hades is in the aura. But let's see, anybody in A, I mean Violet, okay, but still that's gonna fall off, and Leviathan and Tempest suck. Sea Dragon, I mean it's not there to do damage. And then you got Whirly Bird, you know, woo fucking who. Radiant Halo, okay, but like, dude, I'm telling you, it's so bad. I have tried it so many times. It is 100% me, but it does, like, it's not even me. It just doesn't fucking work. It's such a shit fucking... It's a cool aura, but it is the worst one, and it's just don't try and do it. I promise it's not worth it. Bazooka is trash. Pyro... Honestly, Pyro in the beginning is so fucking good, it's hard to not put him in A, and I'm going to put Zeus in A too. So they don't swap here. Zeus is always, I wouldn't say the better choice, but it's more consistent and going to be good at any point in the game. Pyro is one of the best units in the early game at any point, and then falls off massively hard. So if you want an early game start and can get Pyro, he's gonna just absolutely shred every beginning wave pretty much by himself. And then Zeus is great at any point. So it really just depends on how you want to play it, but they both deserve a pretty high spot. The Prince, I'll give Prince A and S. I mean, just to spawn more and more units that are doing good damage are solid. Honestly, though, well, we'll leave them there. You could drop them down to B and A, but like they're solid enough to be where they are. Infiltrator, I think is solid, and then where did Orchid go? Orchid, I think, is super good as well. A lot of damage output. Um, you could maybe even put Orchid into S because they do have some usefulness to buy shurikens, and those can be damaging as fuck, but um, not necessarily the greatest. Now, Steeds, both of them honestly deserve S tier. This is the fucking unit that gives everybody mana, just boosts up your fucking anglers, boosts up all of your people, you know, casting. Steeds are never wrong. And even if you have, let's just say you have no mana units, you know, you start with a Steed at the very beginning, you haven't rerolled or anything. If they don't have anybody to give mana to, they just boost themselves and get more attack speed. So Steeds are fucking fantastic. If you have anybody that has mana, Steed is always a good choice to help them and help themselves. Base Warg is terrible. Alpha Male. Honestly, I'm going to put Alpha Male in B. You just don't want to do Alpha Male. You want to do Lioness. So what happens is, which I think is dumb, but so if you upgrade Warg to Alpha Male technically in stock version has better stats than Lioness. So Alpha Male is good, but if you build units around Alpha Male and upgrade them up to a certain point to where their value is high, it actually makes Alpha Male's stats worse. Don't ask me why, it's just what they did. So, opposite version, Lioness stock version is worse than Alpha Male. Its stats are worse. But if you build and upgrade units, you know, you build a Doomsday, you build an upgraded Butcher, you build a Golem around Lioness, it actually boosts the Lioness stats. So Lioness can be fucking massively good if you put high tier upgrades around it. It's going to make them better and better. More stats, more damage, more defense. Lioness can be fucking S tier 100%. And honestly, even stock version, it's not that much worse than Alpha Male anyway. Alpha Male is definitely just not the version that you want to go with. Soulgate, I mean, it's okay. It just spawns people. The people that it does spawn is good, but I mean, it does die and destroy itself after it's done spawning its units, so it's kinda shit sometimes, but it is what it is. Holy Avenger. It's hard. I'll give it to them to go into A and to S because once they do get full mana and start smacking the ground, and then it murders everybody. But until then, pretty mid tier 6. Still good, but it definitely once it reaches that full mana amount, then like Holy Avenger comes the fuck out, starts killing everybody. Seedling is shit. Chlorpixie, I'll give to B because its usefulness. If it dies, it gives you some Mythium. And then Shakura, I'll give to A because you can make it super good, especially if you start with Shakura. It's definitely a good unit, but it's a solid okay unit overall. Either the upgrades that you choose, or if you don't want to double upgrade and you just stay making them lose Mythium or die so you gain Mythium. I mean, Casket, let's see. Casket is really good, but it is AoE, but okay, I think I'm gonna do Casket in double A and then S, honestly. Biggest reason why, one, because it is actually good. Pierce, damage, then Arcane. Does AoE, is tanky, has mana, but then, so base Casket, when you buy Casket originally, it's 130 gold. But both of the upgrades, you upgrade it, 100 gold. You upgrade it again, 100 gold. And that's super cool. I think that's super nice that they did it to where it's like, a lower amount, and it's the same for both. So being able to massively make an AoE tank that has arcane defense, um, and the upgrade is very viable. You know, it's not like, you know, 130 gold and then the next one is 200 and then that one's like, you know, damn near 3 or something. Like, it's cool to, if you have a little bit of money, to have a certain thing to do that isn't insanely expensive. Grarl, I'll give to B. Um, and then honestly, Ocean Templator and Kingpin I'll give to S. I think both of the upgrades are super good, no matter what. Given some aura defense or area effect attack, I think are both pretty solid choices. And then these flying units, I'll give to B, or C and B, sorry. I think they're okay. I honestly don't really think that they're good. You could maybe go to A, B and A, or something like that, but I haven't played enough with them as a new unit. And then the upgraded bot AoE, I'll give to B and A. I think it is pretty solid. But please, I know that that was long. Do not forget to like and subscribe. I'll give you a nice little rundown here. Check out all of my other Legion TD2 content of all of my other tier lists on the game, as well as gameplay from, you know, ranked mode, from classic game modes, all the masterminds, from all of the campaigns, all 3 of